Hello, welcome to my channel. You can see here I've got all the pages and we're going to add the final one to the piece. So we're going to add the Page of Swords today. But I thought it would be quite nice to just go through the ones that I've done and show you the set. I only did just done the Page of Wands, so I usually try and mix things up a little bit with these videos, but I plan them a few weeks ahead and I was thinking it'd be really nice to do the Two of Discs around Christmas, because actually that's the first card of Capricorn, and I think it's an interesting one because it's a card about juggling sort of priorities and things. It seems really appropriate for the sort of busy time of year for a lot of us for Christmas. And then I just thought I'd warn you. So I notice, because I'm recording this a few weeks ahead, I noticed at the time of recording this that nobody has looked at my death video yet. I will link it down below. I've been doing this channel for about a year now, and you know, it's really common for it only to get like a few handful of views, which is fine because this is mainly, you know, it's lovely when people watch, but I'm mainly doing this for myself and what I learn about the tarot through the process. But of course it is lovely when people do watch, but I will carry on regardless. But I just want to say that I was a little bit disappointed because I can see why people don't want to watch a video about the death card this time of year in the middle of winter. But I think, you know, with all the sort of more difficult cards that I have done for this deck, they have often been my favourite ones to create and my favourite ones to talk about. And through the process, I've been less scared and intimidated by those difficult cards. So I want to say that if it's putting you off, that I feel like I do have quite a positive take on those cards. Please don't be scared, and I will link the death card. And also, in terms of artwork, it's actually one of my favourite cards that I have ever created for this deck. I really was really pleased with how it came out. So if you are tempted, but there was also, just as a warning, that just before New Year, the card I am going to choose, which again I'm really pleased with the artwork for this, and it's an amazing Kate Bush song, and it is possibly like one of the most powerful cards, if not the most powerful card in the tarot deck, but I think it is one that is universally feared, and that is the Tower card. And the reason I've got for doing that is because actually I do a spread every year, and I do a card for each month, and so this is a whole year ahead. I know what cards are going to be coming in December or whatever. And I also do 2 cards that are themes for the whole year, and one's a minor arcana and one is a major arcana. And my minor arcana was Page of Wands, which has felt really appropriate, and my major arcana theme of the year has been the Tower. So it really fits in with my reflection of this year, and I would say that the Tower is a tremendous kind of point of learning. Anyway, that's enough of that intro. Let's just talk quickly about the pages, and then I will get on to the Page of Swords. Now, I talked, especially in the Page of Wands, about how pages relate to kind of curiosity and starting things and a kind of youthful attitude. I quite like seeing these cards together because I think it shows the different personalities. So here we have the Page of Wands, which is about creativity and self-expression. But I think in this picture I've chosen in particular, there's some pride there. There's like a fiery, I think with this fiery Wands energy, there is something about wanting to be admired. Whereas I would say the Page of Cups, which is about emotions and relationships, and can also be about psychic abilities and intuition, that this is about wanting to connect with others. You can see how she's kind of reaching forward. And it's a sort of gentler, softer energy, definitely, than this. And I love this one because I always think of the Page of Pentacles in particular as this introverted, quite shy, nature-loving person who takes time, the sort of person that takes, a while to get to know, but they're dependable, but not boring when you get to know them. They've got real depth to them. So I liked seeing those all by the side and kind of what personalities they came out. Right, so I will show you now Page of Swords and what I don't. So the Page of Swords, I keep showing, I realise this is the second one I have shown of Kate Bush in her recording studio. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was the Eight of Pentacles, wasn't it? But I love, there's quite a few really great photos of her. It's a happy place, isn't it? And this is Pie from Ariel, which I think is an album I haven't chosen a card for a while. And I think it shows that curiosity. Page of Swords in particular is associated with studies and writing and investigation in the world of ideas and getting to know and exploring things. This particular song, I believe, was inspired by a documentary that Kate Bush saw about Daniel Tammet, and I think the documentary was about how he had a European record for being able to recite pi, and I've just got my computer out so I can remember what it is. He was able to, on the 14th of March 2004, he recited pi to 22,514 digits, and it took him 5 hours and 9 minutes. And the interesting thing, I don't know if you know much about Daniel Tammet, there's a really good, quite a recent podcast, which I'll also try and link, which I think gives a more rounded view of, because actually he's written lots and lots of books now. He's quite a creative person. He speaks loads of languages. So he's not just someone who loves numbers. I think he loves educate, he loves ideas, and he's a great example of someone for the Page of Swords. But he has synesthesia, and because of that, he is able to, each number, I think it's each number up until 10,000 has a particular look and feel to him. So it's almost like we're counting 10,000 different people, I suppose, but which I still think is an incredible feat of memory as well. Daniel Tammet is autistic, and he talks a lot about that on the podcast, which was also why I'd encourage you to, if you are at all interested in him, to maybe listen to something like that, which gives you more of a rounded view of him beyond. I have mixed feelings about when I think it's kind of exciting when we see, autistic people have incredible kind of abilities to do these things. But, it's also a reminder that, most autistic people don't have those abilities, and that we shouldn't feel pressure to be exceptional at something, that somehow we've got to compensate for our neurodivergence by excelling. We should have just permission to be normal. I hate that word, normal. Ordinary. Like any neurotypical person, basically. It shouldn't be about we have to prove ourselves. What I think Kate Bush says about pi and about the numbers, I don't know if she's actually said anything about Daniel Tammet herself. I just knew it was inspired by him. But I thought it was quite interesting what she says about this song and pi, because I thought, in a way, you could see that Kate Bush was also inhabiting that Page of Swords energy too in singing this song, because it seems to have been something that she didn't really know much about. I mean, I don't know much about pi either. But through being inspired by Daniel Tammet, she was kind of investigating that herself and exploring that herself. So it was also something new to her. So I'm just going to finish with saying what she said about the song. And I believe it was it was at the Ken Bruce show on Radio 2 in 2005. I really like the challenge of singing numbers as opposed to words, because numbers are so unemotional as a lyric to sing. And it was really fascinating singing that, trying to sort of put an emotional element into singing about a 7, and you really care about that 9. I find numbers fascinating. The idea that nearly everything can be broken down into numbers. It is a fascinating thing, and I think also that we are completely surrounded by numbers now in a way that we weren't, even 20, 30 years ago. We're all walking around with mobile phones. Anyway, so, and I thought it's interesting as well from a tarot point of view, because numbers are so much part of how we read tarot as well, and the symbolic nature of numbers that, they symbolise so much to us, don't they, beyond just the digit or whatever. So that's my take on that. And so I'll be back again in another week, next week, with the 2 of discs. And then you've got that Tower card to look forward to if you want to join me for that. Have a good few weeks, and see you soon. Thanks always for watching. Bye-bye.